So folks, we are getting ready. We have a new speaker tonight. Chris Reavers is here to join us tonight and will do the speaking and the introductions. So we're very happy. So we're going to start off tonight. We have 6 new inductees, and the first one going in is Franz Bolter.
The high school athletic experience should, more than anything else, provide kids with life skills that they will use long after their athletic careers end. If we can teach them to be dependable, respectful, hardworking, and unselfish people who support others, they will do well in every other aspect of life, including their athletic careers. This philosophy is found on Coach Bolter's Minnesota High School League coaching site, and is the foundation upon which his efforts and accomplishments are based. Bolter's high school coaching career began at Medford High School, where he was the head boys basketball coach, B squad volleyball coach, and B squad baseball coach. In the fall of 1984, Franz became the Cardinals' head basketball coach, a job at which he stayed for 30 years. In that span, BA boys basketball team reached 16 conference championships, 21 district subsection finals, and 8 regional section finals. The Cardinals won 4 region section championships, 1993, 94, 02, and 09. They were runner-up 3 times, were state tournament runner-up once, and were third place finisher once. It should be noted that Franz often scheduled his squad to play bigger and tougher programs. The BA 45 straight conference wins may still be a record. Individually, Bolter was named Section 1 Coach of the Year 4 times, State Class A Coach of the Year once, and inducted into the Minnesota Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2012. His final basketball coaching record was 613 and 290. Pretty impressive, Coach. When Franz began at BA, he agreed to be the B squad volleyball coach, a job he held for 2 years. 6 years later, he took over as the head coach of the varsity volleyball programs, which he led to state prominence through the next 26 years. The Bolter-led Cardinals won 21 conference championships, 19 in a row, won a record 137 straight conference games, and won 13 section championships in 16 years. They made 8 straight appearances in the state championship, which is a state record, and played in the state finals 12 times, which is also a state record. The Cardinals won 7 state championships, tied for the most in state volleyball history, and earned 1 third-place finish. Wow. Coach Bolter, as he did with basketball, scheduled the toughest competition he could find. As a result, in 2003, 32-1 team was regarded by many as the best team in the state, regardless of class. Coach was often recognized for his good work. He was selected Section Coach of the Year 6 times and State Coach of the Year 5 times. Franz was one of 15 finalists for PrepVolleyball.com National High School Coach of the Year in 2007. His final coaching record was 603 and 135. Coach Bolter was inducted into the Minnesota High School Volleyball Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2007. He has been an assistant volleyball coach in New Prague the past 2 seasons. Franz Bolter, it should be noted, had his own stellar athletic career outside of coaching. He grew up and played 3 sports for the Wyndham Eagles in the vaunted Southwest Conference. He was fortunate to play for some great coaches who were also great people and mentors. Ron Meyer, his football coach, had a great career at South Dakota State and played in the NFL. Legendary Jack Kelly coached and mentored Franz in basketball and in baseball. Kelly is enshrined in 3 different halls of fame. Bolter also worked for Butch Raymond at Mankato State. After graduation, Franz attended the University of Minnesota and played baseball for Dick Siebert and assistant Jerry Kindle. During that time, Dave Winfield was a teammate. Winfield said that you were better, right?
I don't think he even remembers who I am.
Bolter is quick to credit parents, coaches, assistant coaches, players' parents, and administrators for his success. Congratulations, Franz Bolter, 2019 induction into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, that business with Winfield, I got good at watching other guys play baseball in the 2.5 years that I was in the program. So it was fun. You got to meet a lot of people, but I didn't make a dent in their program very much. So, and I need to put these on. You know, eventually we all have to wear these. And fortunately, I've only been wearing them for 20 years. So I don't know if I'm ahead of the game, but I bet I have 20 pair of these around the house someplace. I want to thank the selection committee for this whole group of people up here and all the work that you've done in the past and the work that you're currently doing. I couldn't go into a better group than this group. Usually I know most of the people that are being inducted. I know who all these people are. I know some of them better than others, but I followed their careers and their accomplishments. And it's humbling to be part of this group and the bigger group as well. So anyway, can I move this back further? You know, my glasses only go so far. There we go. So anyway, congratulations to all the other people up here for all that you have accomplished. I also want to thank I want to recognize that it's nice to go in with one of my former players, Laura, and she made the slinger trifecta with her older sisters, Betty and Mary. Ron and Elsie, I think you should have had a few more because they were pretty good. I also want to thank my parents, Bob and Lynn Bolter. They're 94 and 89. They're both doing well. They live over 3 Links in Northfield. They don't get out a whole lot, so they aren't here tonight. But my dad introduced me to athletics at a very young age, and both of them were very encouraging throughout my own athletic career in Wyndham. My high school baseball and basketball coach, Jack Kelly, who's 83 now, just turned 83 here in the last month, still is the most important mentor in my life. And I talk to him probably at least once a month. If you could say a prayer for him, he's in the hospital right now. They're trying to clear up an infection, which we hope will get taken care of this next week, because he's going to be inducted into the State Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame, someplace that I thought he was in for I don't know how many years. I assumed he was in. I knew he was in the State Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame and the St. Cloud State Hall of Fame, where he was a great athlete. But when I found out that he wasn't, we made sure that he's going in here. We don't know how much longer we're going to have him around. I hope for a long time. So if you can say a prayer for Jack, that'd be great. One of the many great things he taught me was that if you want to be successful, work really hard to surround yourself with successful people, who are positive people, who are in this profession for the right reasons. They don't have to know a whole lot about their sport, but if they care about kids and they know how to treat kids, those are the people that you want around you. And I was really blessed. I think that any success that comes in a team sport is a shared ownership, equal ownership by everybody that's in your program, and certainly assistant coaches. I was going to, and I'm trying not to single out individual people tonight just because there are so many of them, but I was going to list, as I saw it come in, people who have coached with me, and I'm afraid I'm going to miss one because there's quite a few of them here. So I'm going to just do this. Anybody who played for me or has coached at any level with us, if you could stand up. Anybody who played for me, coached, and some of them are duplicates. They played for us and they coached with us. Now stay standing. Stay standing. And now, if you are a parent of someone from our volleyball program or our basketball program, could you please stand up? I need the parents. If your son or daughter played for us, please stand up. And I want them standing because they all have equal ownership in everything that we accomplished. This award is an award for everybody. That's just the way it works. And we always tell kids, if you're interested in individual awards, make sure your team does well. If If your team does well, then you got a chance for individual awards. So congratulations to all of you. It was a blast. It was a blast. We still tell our kids that it's something that we all do together. We have different roles, but we all have equal ownership and value, student managers included. I don't know if we have any student managers. Mr. Friesen was my first basketball manager when I came to VA for a couple of years. And it's equal ownership for everybody. That's what we convey to our players all the time. And some of my favorite people who were ever involved in our program are people that never got to play very much, and student managers, because they made a huge, huge difference in our program. Extremely valuable. We had so many great kids and parents in both programs, and those relationships continue to be alive and treasured. We are very grateful beyond words to have all those people in our lives for what they meant to us and continue to mean to us. And some of those relationships go back 40 years. And I just ran into one of my former Medford basketball players the other night down at the depot. And it was so good to see him, and we got to talk a bit. And then while we were talking, one of his teammates called him on the phone. And I got to talk to him too. So it's a business that's about relationships, and that is more important than anything else. We also have to pay a huge thank you to the Faribault community at large. We have felt so supported ever since we came to Faribault. And obviously we were immersed in the Bethlehem Academy program, but we felt loved and cared for by so many people in this community. We'd go to a state tournament and we'd have this huge crowd, and we'd have a huge crowd because it wouldn't just be BA people, there'd be a lot of Faribault people there too. And we're so proud to call Faribault our home, and we thank you for that. You know, we've been here for 36 years, something like that, and it's been awesome. Most of all, I want to thank my family and extended family, many who are here, friends who are here. You've made a huge difference in our life, and at the very top of that list is my wife Cindy, sitting here. Just to kind of give you an idea what she's been through, I've coached between varsity basketball, varsity volleyball, assistant volleyball, Northern Lights volleyball, and other assistant baseball and lower level basketball and volleyball games, over 2,500 games. None of those games were played when it was convenient for us. None of them. And Cindy she's probably seen half of those. I think she's a little worn out from it at this point in time, and that's understandable. But I wasn't home a lot, and I owe her a lot of time starting now. So when I'm done at New Prague this fall, I'm taking some time off. This is an awesome week and a half for us. Cindy retired as a 41-year RN at District 1 last Thursday. 41 years, most of which were spent helping new babies get into the world. And we've kind of talked that we each have a job that when good things happen, you get to stand up and cheer. And I'm yelling, yes, way to go, nice job. And she's yelling, hey, it's another miracle, welcome into the world. So, it's not that there aren't tough things in our job, but we get a lot of neat things in our job too, and now it's time to spend some more time with each other and do some fun things. Here's the best yet. Any minute, any hour, any day, right now, we're gonna have our first grandchild. He could be trying to get out right now as we speak. So anyway, we're pretty excited about that. I haven't heard one person say that it isn't the most awesome thing you're ever going to experience. So that's pretty neat. Our three children, Grant, who's here, Brett, who isn't here just because he's going to have a baby. That's kind of a dumb excuse, but we're going to let him off the hook. And Bethany, thank you so much for sharing and enduring this journey. One of my great joys was being able to coach all three of you. And I know sometimes that was challenging, but I think that there was just so much fun that we got to have together that I'll never, ever forget all that time that I had with you guys in basketball and volleyball. We're getting close. I'll leave you with a brief, I'm just going to make sure here. Yeah. I'll leave you with a brief description of some of the most important and fun things that we got to do. And there were so many of them, but just a few, and some of you are going to remember these things. I already talked about relationships. That's at the top. Then being able to compete against the best teams, coaches, and players in the state in both sports. A great rush and honor really helped our program. I had watched section championship games in both sports down in Rochester for many years, and I thought, God, it would be so fun to have a team in that game. I never had a clue that what was going to happen happened. Never had a clue. I just wouldn't have guessed it. The things that we got to do. Little did I know. 1993, at the St. Paul Civic Center for the state basketball tournament. Championship Saturday. This is what I heard before introductions. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Class A state championship game between the Bethlehem Academy Cardinals and the Maple River Eagles. That was the first time that it really hit that we were playing for a state championship. And I'll never forget the words that I heard. I just thought, oh man, that's right. That's right. That's what we get to do today. A season later, Christmas tournament down in Austin, 8-team tournament. We're the only small school in. At that time, there were 2 classes in basketball. We were Class A. The other 7 schools were AA schools. And we were able to, in that tournament, beat 3 consecutive really good AA basketball teams. First night, we beat Minnetonka. Second night, we beat Austin. Third night, we beat Northfield. They all had a number of kids that had very successful college careers, and they were much bigger than we were. It was 3 of the neatest days we ever had in basketball. And I think when that was done, we thought we had a chance to go back to the state tournament 3 months later, and we were able to do that. 2002, getting to the state volleyball tournament for the first time, reaching the championship match. You know, we were glad to be there, but we were going to get as much done as we could. We got to the championship match. Little did we know that we were going to do that 8 years in a row. And when you're doing it, you know, you don't think that much of it. And you look back and still a state record, and that was awesome. 2012 provided us with probably one of the best memories that we've ever had. We finally won a state championship in an even-numbered year. In that 8-year stretch, we won the odd-numbered years, lost in the even-numbered years. But in 2012, we won actually back-to-back for the first time. And in the championship match, we were playing Southwest Christian, obviously another Christian school. And Greg Sayek, the coach, and I talked before the match started, and we agreed that after the match and after the award ceremony, we were going to take our teams down to the end of the arena. And we were just going to circle up in prayer, something you can do when you're at Christian schools. So we went down there and we circled up, and we didn't realize it at the time, but the whole XL Center got quiet. It still affects me. And just the impact that had at that time, that's bigger than probably any of the volleyball matches that we played up there. It was just a really neat experience. We're really getting close now. This is just a neat story. I'll do it as quick as I can. Ron Wendorf. When we came to Medford in the fall of 1978, Ron came with me as my assistant basketball coach. I was the head coach, he was the assistant coach, and they asked both of us to coach volleyball, which we knew nothing about. The first volleyball match I ever coached was the first one that I ever saw. That's the truth. That's the truth. So we did that for 6 years. I did B squad, he did junior high, and then we left Medford at the same time. In the fall of '84, he went to Wyndham. I came to BA. I came to be the head basketball coach at BA. He came to soon be the head basketball coach in Wyndham. But in the meantime, I still kept B squad volleyball for 2 years. He took B squad volleyball for a while, and then we we became the head volleyball coaches either the same year or within a year of each other. 25 years after we left Medford, two guys that knew nothing about volleyball, we played against each other in the state championship match. We won. Until the following year when we did it again, and they won. It was unbelievable. You couldn't write a script like that. This is going to finish it up honest. When we came to Medford in the fall of 1978, we immediately began to meet people from Faribault. Cindy had started working at District 1, and I was coming to Faribault for coaches shows on KDHL. Some of the very first people I met were Leo and Steve Brand, Mike Morrissey, Bert Bardall, Ray Sanders, Rick Ross, Mike Peruka, Tom Hartman, Brian and Gary Harger, probably some others that I missed as I looked through the list tonight. Little did I know that I would be here tonight joining them in the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame. I'm humbled and blessed to be part of this fraternity. I'll finish the same way I often end practice. As athletes, we get a lot of attention for what we do, and we're blessed by that. So let's go out, all of us, every day and make a positive difference in the lives of the other people around us and bless them as well. God's blessings to all of you.
Congratulations, Ron. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Being an athlete has continued to be a large part of my life, not just for the competition, but also to be a part of something bigger, to be surrounded by positive and like-minded people. I feel so grateful for the opportunities and capabilities I have been given. So, writes Katie, our next 2019 inductee and 2006 graduate of Faribault Senior High School. As a Falcon, Katie swam for Coach Ken Huber and ran the 800 meters and the 1600 meters under the direction of Michelle Kriesman. Katie's connection with Coach Huber started at age 10. By 7th grade, she was a varsity swimmer and began earning team points through her senior season. She qualified for the state every year from 9th grade on. Her best events were the 100 fly and the 50 free. During her Falcon career, the team won 6 conference championships and 1 Section 1 championship trophy. Individually, she earned 6 varsity letters, 5 all-conference honors, 1 all-state certificate, and 1 All-American plaque. Her team named her team MVP and voted her team captain. Katie started running long distances as a 7th grader, and the next year she earned a spot on the varsity. She ran on to earn 5 letters and was voted team captain. At the spring awards banquet, she was named AAA award winner and the 2006 Sportswoman of the Year. After graduating from FSHS, she chose the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point as her next academic and sports stop. Collegiately, she chose to zero in on swimming for Coach Al Bullock. Oh, I pronounced that right. During her time as a pointer, they were WIAC conference champions in 2010. Individually, she earned all conference recognition in 2008 and 2010, and was voted team captain in 2010. She was also 4 times on the WIAC Scholastic Honor Roll. Upon graduation with a Bachelor's of Arts degree, she enrolled in graduate school at Penn State University, earning a master's degree in counselor education by 2012. While in grad school, her love of running long distances surfaced again, and she joined the Penn State Triathlon Club. Show off. Since that time, she has completed in 5 full Ironman competitions. She was a 6-time half Ironman award winner, 5-time overall champion in various triathlons, and 1 podium finish at Ironman Florida in 2016. She was named a 2016 All-American in USA Triathlon. She has not forgotten her love of swimming. She has become a Masters swimming standout. She was national champion in the 50 and 100 meter butterfly, and she was Minnesota 50 and 100 yard butterfly champion. She is presently the state record holder in the 50 and 100 yard butterfly and the 50 and 100 meter butterfly. Wow. She continued to be active coaching various area swim clubs. Perseverance and attitude fostered her success. Her parents, Barb and Jean, her idol brother Dan, and coaches Hubert and Kriesman were a huge part of her achievements. Congratulations, Katie, on the 2019 induction into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you all. It's truly an honor to be here with this group of people. Really an inspiration to be here right next to Franz Bolter. So,
Likewise.
as I was thinking about my athletic success, I kind of felt like most of it on paper looks like it was later on in life. But after thinking more about it, I had felt like the foundation of everything really started here in Faribault with all of the mentors, coaches, people here in my life that have brought me here along the way. So really starting with my parents, they played a huge role creating an encouraging and supportive environment for me. I remember one time, and this was a long time ago, so my dad probably doesn't remember this, but he had told me that he could have an endless amount of work to do, but at some point you have to put an end to your workday and go home to your family. And he made it, him and my mom made it to every single swim meet, every track meet, and even basketball game, which I was not good at basketball. So that's a really cool thing to say. They really had faith in me even when I didn't, as an insecure teenager, and they'll never really know the role that they've played in my athletic career and just how they've given me the motivation to keep going no matter what. So while we're on family, I want to talk about my brother Dan. He also was a guy that I really looked up to as a kid. I wanted my letter jacket to look like his. You know, I just wanted to be just like him. He would make me mixed CDs that I would listen to in my portable CD player before every race. Or I'd blast it at the pool before practice. And so, you know, Ken Hubert, I'm sure you love punk rock now, right? He also would come to practice with me in the summertime. He taught me how to lift weights. He was at every important meet. You know, he really just gave me a lot of confidence too as a kid, so thank you to my family. Ken Hubert, you really did play a huge role in my life. Starting at age 10 when you started coaching me, you really taught a lot of work ethic and perseverance. I'll never forget what it's like to wake up for morning practice and to go to 9 practices in a week. You know, it's crazy how much work you put in with swimming, but also Ken really valued team camaraderie. So he would allow our team to take off an entire day and just go have a team day. And he also sat back and let us go toilet paper his yard after a conference win, you know? So he really did play a huge role as well. You know, Bill Schmidt, he only coached me for 1 year, but I wanted to mention him because he's an inspiration. You know, even though it was only 1 year, it's amazing what that can do for kids. He had said something to me during a hard workout that I'll never forget. He said to me, "Don't let your mind talk you out of it." And I thought to myself, wow, you know, I to this day truly believe that your mind is your limit and you're capable of so much more than you ever know. And I guess I want to talk about Michelle Kriesman as well. I don't even know where to start with her. She started coaching me in 8th grade. One day, 8th grade running, she brings information about the Elysian Rookies Triathlon, and she says, "You guys should try this," you know, and who knew that would be the start of something so special. Since then, she's continued to mentor me in triathlon. She will, whether it's debating, you know, which Ironman are we going to sign up for next, or riding alongside me while we're biking, or allowing me to borrow her bike for 3 years before I can afford my own. She's really been such an inspiration for me and an awesome mentor. So, friends, family, mentors, coaches, they've all played a huge role in giving me values that have translated from sports into life. I've learned how to work hard, stay positive through almost anything, and all because of the people that have shaped me along the way. I'm going to fast forward to today, and I now have been happily married to someone who's just as supportive as my parents and encouraging as all those mentors that I've mentioned. He's the guy that's willing to be a single dad for a day while I have a 10-hour workout during peak training season. It's kind of crazy. He's also the guy that's at every start and finish line, no matter the distance. And he may not do the races with me, but he's definitely the one that gets me to the finish line. So we now have a little girl who's almost 17 months. She couldn't be here. She has a double ear infection, so that's kind of sad. But my hope is to show her, how she is capable of more than she'll ever know. And she just has to, keep trying and have the right people in her life, like I did. So I continue to set goals and achieve personal bests and race big races because of the mindset that was created by all of these people here in Faribault. I continue to surround myself with like-minded, positive, hardworking people because it feels good to push limits and to do what some may think is impossible. But whether I achieve my goals, like qualifying for the Kona World Championships, I will always feel gratitude for the opportunities I've been given and the people that I've come across in my life that have helped along the way. So thank you all so much. It's really an honor to be here next to all these people.
Congratulations, Katie. Welcome to the Sports Hall of Fame.
Laura graduated from Bethlehem Academy in 2008 after participating in volleyball for 8 years, golf for 1 year, and track and field for 2 years. This was during a period of dominance for the Bolter-led Cardinal volleyball program. The BA squad was state champions in 06 and 08 and runners-up in 2007. Individually, Slinger was chosen team captain, earned all-conference honors 3 times, and all-state recognition 3 times. In track, Laura put the shot establishing a school record mark. After her high school graduation, she matriculated to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, where she played volleyball for 4 years. The program was conference runners-up in 2011. She was chosen best newcomer, and she earned 2nd team All-American honors. Laura graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in biology and a minor in history. She coached while she was in college and for 2 years after graduation. She always believed that sports are meant to be fun and played with passion. To be successful, Laura believes you must enjoy what you do and trust those around you. Congratulations, Laura, on the 2019 induction into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you. And thanks to the committee for selecting me and making me amongst this great group of inductees this year. It is truly an honor to be here tonight. It's a privilege to be surrounded by such a great group. Throughout my career at BA, there have been a number of people that have positively influenced me both athletically and personally. First, I'd like to thank my parents. They're all sitting back there. I'm very fortunate to have parents that have always supported me in everything that I've done, even when they don't agree with it. They've made every effort to give me every opportunity that they could, and they never complained or made any of us feel bad about how much effort or money or anything cost. They just were there for us for everything that we did. Sorry. Even when my sisters and I started going to college, that didn't stop them from trying to make it to every game and be there for every tournament for all of us. And that's really meant a lot to me as I've gotten older.
We're kind of emotional in our volleyball program.
They showed me what it means for family to come first. And that is something that I hope that I can show my children someday. I'd also like to thank my sister, Mary, who's here. My sisters and I have always had pretty good relationships, and for the most part, we've always gotten along. For growing up, I'm sure I was always just their annoying baby sister, but for me, they've been 2 wonderful role models that I've had throughout my whole life. I watched them put in a lot of time and effort over the years, towards school and in everything they've done. And they showed me what dedication looks like and how hard work can pay off. Lastly, I'd like to thank my coaches.
Glass of water.
Sure. Hope that helps.
He's still coaching. He's still coaching.
I was thinking of you while I was making this speech.
Hold that mic up, Laura.
Lastly, I'd thank my coaches, two of them of whom are here tonight, one who is also being honored. They dedicated a lot of time to help my teammates and I succeed. Almost as much time as probably we all did. I know I wasn't always the most open to their feedback and input, as I'm sure Mr. Wilson knows.
You're good.
But they put up with me every day in practice and for every game. I'm grateful for all their hard work and the lessons that they've taught me to help me grow. And going to state champions 3 years in a row and winning twice are experiences that I'll never forget. And I have my coaches to thank for pushing me to that level. Looking back at my time as a high school athlete, I've come to realize just how much being involved in sports has shaped the person that I am today. Taught me about time management, group dynamics, and it gave me a good work ethic. Made a lot of great friendships and had a lot of great experiences from the different teams that I've been lucky enough to be a part of. And I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't be here today without all of the wonderful support and encouragement that I've received along the way. Thanks.
Congratulations, Laura, for joining the Hall of Fame, along with your two sisters.
Tonight, we induct Orden Revlin's little buddy and grandson, Joey Clapp, into our Sports Hall of Fame. A 2009 Faribault Senior High School graduate, Clapp participated in baseball and swimming. In baseball, under Coach Rost and Coach Felix, Joey earned 2 varsity letters and earned all-conference honorable mention his senior year. Swimming was really his specialty. Coaches Ken Huber and Charlie Fuller got the best out of Joey. He earned 6 varsity letters and participated in the state tournament 5 times. Joey earned all-conference honors 4 times, and he was an all-state swimmer 4 times. He was chosen team MVP for the 2009 season. Before graduating in the spring of '09, he earned the AAA award and the Bruce Smith Award. After graduation, Clapp chose to further his education and hone his swimming skills at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. As a pointer, Joey developed into a dominant swimmer, earning 4 varsity letters, elected team captain, and chosen WUSP Team MVP 3 times. He was a conference champion 20 times. He was the 2012 WIAC Conference Swimmer of the Meet and collected the 2013 Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Max Sparger Men's Swimming and Diving Scholar Athlete Award. That had to have been a long plaque. Joey's older brother, Willie, earned the same award in 2008. Clapp competed in the Division III National Swim Meet 4 times, and through various events, earned first team All-American honors 12 times and honorable mention twice. After graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Physical Education and Health, he signed on with Albert Lee High School as their head varsity boys coach and varsity assistant girls coach. After 3 years, he moved back to Faribault and is currently teaching at Jefferson Elementary School. Go Jags. He is in the 3rd year as an assistant swim coach in both the men's and women's programs at St. Olaf College. When listing influential people who helped him to be successful, Joey listed parents, brothers Willie, coaches Linda Butzo, and Chad Wolf. As an aside, it should be noted that Joey Clapp probably ranks in the top 5 all time in quarters earned as a foul ball shagger for the Faribault Lakers baseball team. It's true. Congratulations, Joey, on your 2019 induction into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you. As a kindergartner at Jefferson Elementary, I didn't know which day of the week it was, how to tie my shoes, but I could tell you, Faribault Falcon basketball was unbeatable. And my favorite player, number 44, Chad Wolf. Chad was a class act, a leader, both on and off the court. I couldn't have asked for a better role model, and number 44 will always be my favorite number. So Chad, thank you for being the positive role model any parent would want their children to look up to. And thank you for your support throughout my sports career. In first grade, then, I had Mrs. Kathy Larson. She treated us like we were her own kids. The life lessons you taught helped shape all of us. Things like giving instead of always receiving, treating others how you want to be treated, and how to resolve conflict. Thank you for being the best first grade teacher. I appreciate all the love and support you have given me throughout my time competing in sports. Mrs. Linda Butzel was my Phi Ed teacher at Jefferson. She was an advocate for Faribault athletics and created a farm system for all sports. Her enthusiasm and teachable moments made Phi Ed and sports a place where we could be both safe and successful. She was also authentic. She would say tree instead of three, and rotoot instead of rotate. And she had the ability to drop her jaw when she was impressed. Thank you, Mrs. Butzel, for being awesome. In swimming, I was fortunate to have Ken Hubert as my coach for 5 seasons. His philosophy and training principles made our team successful. He had the respect of all the other coaches in the conference and all the officials too. He carried himself in a professional manner and never seemed to carry any negativity with him. Thank you, Ken. Bob Felix was my baseball coach. Junior year, he gave everyone on the team a nickname. Mine was Big Bird. Being around Coach and guys like Pluto, Frankie, Rosa, Roadrunner, High Top, Crunch, Kong, Vader, and Shotgun made me a better athlete and person. Coach, thank you for all the words of encouragement beyond high school and all the breakfasts at Perkins. You are a true friend, and I love you, man. My brother Willie paved the way for my future. The only difference was that he enjoyed the sport of running, and I couldn't figure out what was fun about doing a fun run. He was an All-American swimmer at the same college that I eventually attended, and I was known as Willie's little brother from a small town many Badger and Packer fans have not heard of. Turns out his positivity and bubbliness left an impact on the team, and I became an instant part of the Pointer family. Thank you, brother. To my parents who spent countless hours supporting me, thank you. Steve and Diane always let the coaches coach, and that took a lot of pressure off me. They just wanted me to simply do my best, and that's exactly what I needed. To all the coaches I've had in baseball, Nick Ross, Rick Ross, Jeremy Fuchs, Terry Schultz, Brent Hawkins, Felix, Ned Lewis, if I haven't mentioned him. In swimming, Ken Hubert, Charlie Fuller, Mark Vininsky, Brenda Peters, Megan Peters, Mark Zeller, and after college there, John Schmitz. Thank you for taking me under your wing for 3 years in Albert Lee. Thank you to the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame Committee for welcoming me into this group. It's an honor and a privilege to join my grandpa, who continues to look over his family and friends from up above. Congratulations to all inductees of the 2019 class. I'm fortunate to celebrate with you on this special night. Thank you.
Congratulations, Joey. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Not many former Falcon football players can brag that they never lost to Owatonna. Grades 7 through 12, Nate Rost can. Not many Falcon athletes can boast that they played on 5 section finals runner-up teams, 3 in football, 1 in hockey, 1 in baseball. Nate Rost again. Rost, a 2007 Faribault Senior High School graduate, was obviously a great all-around athlete for the Falcons, earning 10 varsity letters. Even today, Rost is still competing at a very high level in amateur baseball each summer. In football, Nate was a 3-year starter at quarterback. When needed, he stepped into the defensive backfield too. The Ned Lewis-led footballers were a force in the Big Nine and fought in the section finals 3 times. Individually, Nate earned all conference honors twice, and he was chosen team MVP and team captain his senior year. When his Falcon career ended, he was number 1 for career passing yards and number 3 in touchdown passes. I'm sure Ned was really happy he broke his record. He was named to the All-State Honorable Mention team. Each winter's season, Rost toiled as a defenseman on the hockey team, earning 3 varsity letters and all-conference honorable mention twice. His senior season, Nate scored 11 goals, had 8 assists for a team that went 17-9-1, losing 2-1 to Orono in the section finals. The Falcon baseballers were a solid Big Nine squad during Nate's 4 years, getting as far as the section finals one time. Ross not only pitched and caught, but played whatever position that needed his skills. Right, Coach? Nate led the conference in the ERA as a junior. He was a 4-time letter winner, 3-time all-conference winner, and an all-stater his senior year playing in the Lions All-Star Series. Nate was chosen team captain and team MVP his senior season. At the end of the year awards banquet, Ross was named the 2009 Faribault High School Athlete of the Year. We must also remember that Nate was a serious student, being named an all-conference scholar athlete and a AAA letter winner with a grade point average of 3.86 based on a 4.0 scale. Nate chose to continue his academics and athletic endeavors at Wartburg College in Waverly, Iowa. He graduated in 2011 with a bachelor's degree in biology with a minor in psychology. Ross concentrated on baseball in college, lettering all 4 years. As a freshman and sophomore, he was a closer. As a junior, he was a starter. And as a senior, he was their starting catcher and closer. During his college career, the Knights won the Iowa Intercollegiate Athletic Conference in 2008 and won the conference tournament in 2008 and 2009. Personally, Nate earned all conference recognition as a junior and again as a senior. On the baseball record board at Wartburg, Nate Ross is listed as number 1 in career saves. Each time Nader pitches, he remembers what Don Spohr, his pitching coach, told him his freshman year: throw strikes, Babe Ruth is dead. And throw strikes Nate does. He began playing amateur ball with the Laker team, but moved on to play in Newmarket because his work was in the metropolitan area. In his 6th season with the Newmarket Muskies, he has thrown 39 complete games, including 9 shutouts and 1 no-hitter. He has amassed 56 wins to just 11 losses, striking out 597 hitters. As an offensive dynamo playing multiple positions, he's hitting over 300 with 42 home runs and 221 RBIs. His state tournament pitching record is 6-2, including 3 shutouts and 2 one-hitters. He earned 2018 Class C All-Tournament honors. And I'm going to go off script. It's going to be great when he and his brother come back to play for the Lakers. You knew I was going to say that. Nate believes you play because you love the game and for your teammates more than yourself. He was most influenced by his father and head Falcon coach Rick Ross, assistant coach Bob Felix, and football coach Ned Lewis. The key to success is to work hard even when people aren't looking and trust that the process will get you the results that you want. Congratulations, Nate, on your induction to the 2019 Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be up here. Thank you to the committee. It's an honor to be up here with everyone. I'm not much of a public speaker, so I'm going to go ahead and try to make this as quick as I can. You're going down. So sports have always been an important part of my life for as long as I can remember. One of the first things I remember is going to Lakers games and watching this old guy here. He used to play back in the day. My dad, Rick, played for the Lakers and hit me fly balls for hours afterwards. Probably a lot longer than he wanted to. I also remember watching my brother Nick play on all the teams that I wanted to play on when I grew up, and I bet you got that ability. But as in sports in life, you also need a team to kind of back you up to make all those things possible. So the first people I want to thank are my original team members, my mom Kay and my father Rick. I can probably count on one hand the amount of games that they haven't been to, and that includes now, when I'm on the Huskies, in my 30s. You think they'd have something better to do, but they keep showing up. And it really means a lot even now that they care enough to be there all the time and support me. I also want to thank my grandpa and my grandma, my Uncle Jack, Aunt Nancy, my mother-in-law Judy, and then my brother's wife Ashley. They come to more games and they probably should too. And you think eventually I'd give up, but I keep plugging away at it. My personal favorite teammate of mine is my wife Jamie. She's still stuck today coming to games, and I remember when we first started dating, it was winter, which was probably my saving grace, because when summer came around and I handed her that first baseball schedule and she realized how much time she spent at a baseball field, she wasn't exactly happy. So being the wordsmith I was, I knew I had to kind of talk her into it, ease her into it, so I just said, I don't know, that's what Ross do in the summer. So to her credit, I will say that she's really came around. She is now the biggest fan you can find. She really embraces how awesome baseball is in Minnesota in the summer. And I also am kind of sad to admit that she also now watches a lot more of the Major League playoffs than I do as well. Kind of like Franz spoke to, there's too many people that you can't name everyone. And I don't want to leave anyone out, but there's one I just cannot bring up, and that's Bob Felix, better known as Coach. He's someone that's been influential in my life as long as I can remember, and unfortunately for him, he didn't just have to coach me, he had to deal with me as a kid, coming to all the practices and all the games that I was allowed to. So, Coach, it means a lot. You were a great role model, a great example of what hard work is, a great example of how to be a man, and made me both a better baseball player and a man. I also want to just thank all coaches in general. Anyone here that's done any coaching, I know someone stood up earlier. No one that's coaching, especially at the high school level, is doing it for the fame or the fortune. They're doing it because they love the game and they want to help kids really reach their athletic goals, make them better people, better community members. So thank you to all of you that have put in that time and that effort, because watching my father do it for years, spending all that time away from home, all that extra work, taking his lunch to go mow Belfield, I know what it takes, and I want to say thank you to all of you out there that have done it. Finally, I want to thank just everyone that's came tonight. It takes a community to have a successful sports program. It's not just players, it's not just coaches, it's the support of the entire community at once. And the fact that you came here to support this 2019 class, but everything you've ever done for any, whether it's BA or Faribault sports, that really means a lot, and that's going to lead to future success. So thank you. If you guys like it, I can keep going.
Congratulations, Nate. That's terrific.
Every so often, Faribault Sports Incorporated chooses to honor community members who are not necessarily great athletes. Hint. In fact, these individuals did all the things in the background to support our many athletes, and they often receive no attention or even a thank you. Ray Sanders, a 1946 graduate of Faribault Senior High, is the one we are honoring tonight. He played basketball and baseball at FHS, and later played basketball and softball on the Nutting Truck recreational teams. Sanders quickly established himself as a hard-working referee and umpire, doing high school, amateur, and recreational games. Bob Burke had Ray at the top of his call list. If you want to hear some entertaining stories, ask Ray about umpiring Southern Mini Baseball with Don McComas. Ray coached Trinity Boys basketball for 20 years. He coached and mentored those many players and took his job seriously. Thanks, Ray. In 1970, while driving back to Faribault after watching son Randy play basketball against Red Wing, he was impressed by the Wingers Booster Club and the enthusiasm that it generated. Sanders was instrumental in getting a similar group started in Faribault after driving back to Red Wing to visit with their club members. He was our president for the first 2 years. That club, in the last 49 years, has raised in the neighborhood of $1 million in support for Falcons athletics. Thanks, Ray. For nearly 40 years, Sanders has led the American Legion baseball program, making sure the Legion supports a team each and every single summer and provides a place for them to play baseball. Thanks, Ray. In 1975, Ray and other board members organized the first Bruce Smith Golf Tournament to raise money for local programs. It is still going strong today. Congratulations, Ray Sanders, on your 2019 induction into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Hello, I am Jason Sanders, aka Number 4 Son, the mistake, the oops, the one that keeps us young, or just Randy, Ricky, Rory, Jason. As my dad runs through all our names before he gets to the right one. I don't think he's called me my sister's name Vicky yet, but it is extremely difficult for him not to be the one up here giving this speech. Well, we all want to get out of here at a decent time. And if he has a microphone, who knows when that would be. So, as you can see here, the notes he put together for me, I've cut them down a little bit. Earlier this year, the Sanders family nominated our father, Ray Sanders, into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame. We know he was not the best athlete in his class. However, no one epitomizes a true Faribault Falcon like Ray Sanders. He still lives in Faribault, and every phone call with us begins with an update on Faribault sports or how much rain fell in Faribault. I follow with Dad, I could care less how much rain is falling in Faribault. He continues to tell me in detail how much rain is falling. Whether it is a final score, a fundraising effort, or who Faribault plays next, our dad cares more about Faribault sports than anyone will ever know. Ray truly deserves this incredible honor. Today I stand up in front of you representing Ray Sanders, Faribault Hall of Famer. Ray graduated from Faribault High School in 1946, where he participated in sports including the 45-46 Faribault High School boys basketball team that lost to eventual state champion Austin in the district finals. A framed photo of that team still hangs in the garage at home. He is as proud of that as the frayed image he pulls from his wallet from the 1954 Nutting Trucks men's basketball team that won the city championship in Faribault and Owatonna. That team eventually lost in the state semifinals. He also played baseball for Faribault High School, where he remembers going 5 for 5 with a grand slam. What we as family remember are the stories about his 5-error game at third base. I feel like when one of us had a bad game, he would remind us that it was not as bad as his 5-error game. After high school, he went on to the U.S. Army, where he served 2 years in the Korean War in the 199th Combat Engineers. He was named Soldier of the Week at Camp McCoy, Wisconsin, with over 750 soldiers in that battalion. While serving, he was the athletic and recreation director for all sports at Camp McCoy and later at Fort Leonard Wood. As you can hear, it's all about sports, sports, sports. In 1954, he married his wife of 65 years, Mary Ann. They have lived in Faribault ever since. They brought up 5 children, all participating in sports from football to basketball, cheerleading, golf, baseball. During his life, he spent more time at Bruce Smith Field, Bell Field, or in the gym than most others. He began coaching basketball in about 1967 at Trinity Lutheran School and coached every one of his boys in basketball. He took pride in mentoring all players he coached and helped shape a number of future athletes on those teams. Ray finally retired from volunteer coaching in 1987 when I moved on to junior high. When he was not coaching, you could find him giving back, officiating basketball, or umpiring softball or baseball games. In fact, 2 Faribault Hall of Famers, Jerry Hatfield and Bob Burke, called him the best umpire Faribault ever had. He took his job as umpire or official extremely serious, giving back more than sports could ever give to him. And how about other Faribault community involvement? As you heard, in 1970, Mom and Dad were driving back from watching son Randy play basketball for the Falcons in a road game against Red Wing. Impressed by the Wingers Booster Club, they went over to Red Wing and met with the directors to find out how they created such a program. He then helped get a similar group started in Faribault, serving as the very first president. Our family can remember him being so excited each year, showing off the Booster Club programs. As you can see, he still has some today, 1974, 1973. Some things just never get thrown away at home. For nearly 40 years, he has led the Faribault American Legion baseball program, making sure Legion Sports supports athletics in the summer and providing a place for kids to play baseball. He still does that at 90 years young. He was fortunate to belong to the Faribault Country Club for many years, and he's proud to say he has not one, but 2 holes in one. One in 1981, the second in 1998. If you don't believe it, just ask him. He also helped to organize the first Bruce Smith golf tournament in '75, which is still going today. A few other accomplishments: commander of this American Legion in 1985, past president of the Faribault Lions Club, chairman of the Lions Super Bowl pancake breakfast for 53 years, starting in 1966, where I don't think he's ever flipped a pancake. Lion of the Year in 2004, honorary Grand Marshal of the 2011 Faribault Memorial Day Parade. It is easy to sit back behind the fence or in the stands and critique coaching and officials. The hard part is walking on that field or on that court and helping. He did that. He got involved. He took harassment from the coaches and fans, even though he says no one ever complained a ball to call. We all know his hearing is suspect. He is extremely proud of his children. All of them have been so involved in their grandchildren's lives, from coaching them to even a few becoming umpires and officials. Dad would like to say it's because of him. Well, it is, Dad. We are a sports family. If you look at his kids and their kids, you'll find star high school athletes and even some college success, on the field and off. Most importantly, they're winning at life, and that's what makes him smile. The Faribault Sports Hall of Fame is made up of tremendous athletes, amazing people, and community ambassadors. What an honor it is. A few weeks ago, I asked my father to take a look at the Hall of Fame program. And the names in that program, I said, Dad, are there people in the Hall of Fame that you remember or have stories about? He said, of course, I've got stories about the Hall of Famers. Of course, I've condensed some of those down. Red Drusbeck, I played basketball with him. He was a stud. Hockey Melee, I umpired all his Shattuck baseball games with no complaints ever. Ed Dusbabek, umpired baseball, softball, and basketball with Ed. Roger Koopmans. Now on to some thank yous directly written from him. First, his wife, Marianne. Accomplishments like this do not happen alone. You have been by my side each step of the way. I love you so much, dear, and we are in the Faribault Hall of Fame. My children, Randy, Ricky, Vicky, Rory, and Jason. What a run it's been. From Umiaya to Concordia. It's been a blast following you, calling you my children. I am so proud of you. Thank you, sons and daughter. My grandchildren, Paige, Carly, Anna, Katie, Grace, Ashley, AJ, Matt, Jay, Michelle, Noah, and Max. Speaking of runs, from River Falls to Augustana, from St. Thomas to Gustavus, from the University of Minnesota to Go Bison at North Dakota State. I love you all. Thank you. My coffee friends. You give me a lot of grief. And I'm sure you hate my bragging, but I would not change any McDonald's breakfast or Legion coffee with any of you. Thank you. Kim Anderson, I don't think she's here tonight, has a son in the Hall of Fame, and he said she was the best boss I ever had. She taught me leadership, how to work well with our community, keep smiling, and to be thankful for everything you do. Thank you, Kim. The City of Faribault for being the best community a person could ask for helping us raise a family here and always being so supportive to us. Finally, the Board of Hall of Fame and the Selection Committee. Thank you for choosing me to be part of the 2019 class. I'm so proud to say I'm Ray Sanders, and I am from Faribault, Minnesota. Since that day, the mail came letting him know he was going into the Hall of Fame. He has turned into fighter Ray Sanders. In the last 2 months, we've had a few trips to Abbott, one stay at Pleasant Manor Nursing Home, and more meds that we care to mention. His lifestyle's had to change. No more coffees at McDonald's or the Legion, a boring diet with little to no salt, and no beer. But one thing has stayed the same, his love for this city and community. Every new person he met, he told them about the town in which he is so proud. He told every doctor and every nurse that he had to make it to October 18th because he was going into the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame. We know his heart is not as strong as it used to be, but we know his heart will always be here in Faribault. At 90 years old, it's time to honor a Faribault sports ambassador. one that has given time over the years and a love for the Falcons that will never go away. Ray Sanders, Dad, congratulations. You're a Hall of Famer.
Congratulations, Ray, and welcome to the Hall of Fame. Thank you all for coming to the Hall of Fame.